So, Ron,
Yes.
how excited are you that we just paid off another property?
Super excited.
How
Like, boom's excited.
And in this 12-ish months, like, this makes property number what?
Property number 5 we paid off. Yep.
It's pretty cool. We've been investing in properties since.
Well, I mean,
the very first one, I guess, was.
we house hacked.
Yeah.
1999, 98.
We moved into the basement.
Yep.
And had 2 roommates upstairs.
Yep.
And the basement, I actually thought that we got the better deal out of
Oh,
the
basement
whole
was
house.
awesome.
It was like a suite.
It was a total suite. Built a bathroom downstairs.
Yeah.
Still remembered it was like $5,600. Mr. Ballard helped us build it. Right?
The laundry was right there.
It was there.
It was amazing.
It's like a little efficiency with our own private entrance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
and you painted it all sorts of crazy, funky colors.
well, you came to me and you were like, I want to spruce up the place, but I don't have a lot of money to spend. I was like, I know exactly.
Yeah, that was
trick.
fun.
I was like, how do you like color? You're like, my mom's an artist. And I'm like, this is gonna be great.
Lots of color.
Lots of color. So it was amazing. So real quick, I got a question for you.
Yep.
In this process of us investing with the house hacking, starting all the way back to where we are now, we've had total, how many properties under our belt then? Roughly.
20 some odd that we've held, are you saying?
Well, if we would have held them, we would have had...
Probably, 27, somewhere around there.
Okay, so we've had experience with at least, 25 to 27 properties. Whether we still hold them or we've sold some of them.
Oh, well, on the fix and flip side, I mean, we've done hundreds.
Yeah.
But on the buy and hold.
Yeah, the buy and hold.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, obviously, in the beginning, we were learning.
We're still learning.
We are still learning.
We're still learning.
We definitely are still learning.
Yeah.
But with that, I mean, in the beginning, yes, you talk to a lot of people. You understand what they're doing. I mean, you're just like a sponge.
Yeah.
I remember both of us just being a sponge, going to the RIA meetings, doing boot camps, getting
boot
out
camps,
there.
RIAs, networking, meeting, coffees.
Exactly.
Yeah, just we're just a sponge. I mean
absolutely. Absolutely. The process, though, became more and more clear, I guess, as the years went on. But
well,
then
as you start doing, that's when the real learning happens, right? Like you can't. I mean, you can conceptually understand, but at some point you've just got to pull the trigger and start applying what you are hearing about and learning about. Which, by the way, that first step is the most important step, right? It's like as soon as you build momentum, and you know what, you're going to make mistakes along the way, right? That's just part of the game, right? This is a game. Like, understand that this is a game. There's a way to win. There's a way to lose. And that's what makes it fun.
It is, but have a strategy.
You need a strategy.
Yep. Have a strategy. Have patience.
Patience. Yep.
Have an open mind.
Yep.
So you're willing to learn.
Yep. You got to always be learning.
Yep. And then have the flexibility to know that it's not going to go as planned sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's never going to go as planned.
Right.
I mean, if it goes as planned, you're like, wow.
What?
Was that for real?
Right.
That just happened? Yeah. No, you've got to learn how to pivot, right? It's about
There's
rolling.
so many things that you don't have control over. The market, potential life changes.
Life changes,
right?
The market. Yeah, true. And what you can always protect, though, is the downside. Always have a couple different exit strategies, right? It's like, okay, what happens if the market does change? What's my exit strategy there, right? The great thing with rentals is that if they work on paper, you know the rents, you understand what that mortgage payment is going to be. You understand what the costs associated with owning that asset's going to be, and you could make a positive number after all of it, then really you're protected, because this is the buying and holding is a long game.
Yeah, right? Even if worst case scenario, you don't pay it off early, the tenant, you know, always are collecting rental income.
Yep.
That the tenant, for the most part, is paying.
They're going to pay it.
The entire, even if you kept it at a 30-year mortgage, you have tenants in there for 30 years, you're going to have the tenants paying the mortgage. The tenants are paying the asset.
Yeah.
And that's worst case scenario.
That's true, and hopefully what you could do is you could pay it off sooner, which we've just done, because part of our life plan, our strategy was to make sure that we were going to pay these off faster. We were going to snowball them one after another, so that we could create more passive income in our life.
Who was it that we very early on listened to, and that was the strategy of snowballing? Who was that?
Well, I mean, I remember Dave Ramsey talking about snowballing with credit cards, but that's a different concept.
Yeah, no, I thought I remember there was one person, you know, kind of, I'm not saying Carlton Sheets, but I'm just saying, like, you know, somebody out there that was doing investing and everything, and their strategy was that they would buy a property and the tenant would move in and pay it off, and eventually got to enough positive income that he could put money down on the next property, and then he had a couple built up, and then he paid off the first one, and then that payment went to go snowball into the second payment, and then but he kept building and paying. And
I can't remember who it was. I mean, we've done so much, but you know, I just interviewed somebody on our podcast, and that was their strategy, and they've built up a massive portfolio of properties.
Mile. Use the right 2 lanes to keep right to I-80 West, Omaha.
We're in Omaha.
There you go.
Well, we're headed to Omaha.
And you need to go to Omaha.
Oh, well, that's not good. Okay.
So, shameless plug. What's the name of your podcast?
Oh, the Grid Investor Network Podcast.
Grid Investor Network Podcast.
Yeah, we call it Grid Talk. Okay.
There you go. Grid Talk. Cool. So, okay, real quick to wrap it up. Have an open mind. Always be learning.
Yep, always be learning.
Have a strategy. Know what you're doing, kind of going into it, but also know you're going to be learning as you go.
Yep.
It's never going to go as planned.
Yeah, you got to learn how to pivot.
Right.
Pivot is part of the process.
Pivot is part of the process. I like that.
Yep.
I like that. And would you say that would you have done anything different for where we are now?
Yeah, I would have bought more faster.
Oh, okay.
I would have bought more faster. Especially in the years 2008, 2009. But here's the deal: you don't have a crystal ball. You don't know. What I do know now is that if I can make the numbers work on paper, and I can digest one and just understand those numbers, then and it's working, then go all in on that strategy, because time is such a precious...
Right 2 lanes to keep right to I-80 West, Omaha.
Time is such a precious asset for us, and over time, these assets just get paid off. I mean, look at it. Our, 2000 and when we started
for 1 hour and 36 minutes to I-80 West, Express Port Omaha. When
we started this in 2005, I mean, that seemed like yesterday to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like yesterday to me.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, like you said, that was a wrap up, but I do want to give a shout out to our team, because they make all things possible. We're here on this month-long RV adventure because we have a powerful team that is around us, and they're leading the way, paving the way, and we're creating this white space so that we can think about what the next 10, 15, 20 years looks like within our business, so that we can help our team grow and build their wealth and build their own legacy, and create experiences just like we're creating today.
Which I have to say, this has been part of your strategy of getting a team put together that is so powerful and capable that we can actually do this.
We could do this.
So that was your strategy.
100%. And what's great is like, how many times does my phone ring?
Yeah, no.
Once.
Yeah, that was at the beginning.
That was right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And, you know, here we are almost a week in, and
Amazing.
it's amazing.
So here's to learning.
Boom.
Keeping it up.